inspiring. Brilliant mind. No one could compare to him. Generations after generations always followed in his footsteps.
With over 313 patented inventions, Steve Jobs led the world to a revolutionary start. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. And that is exactly what Steve Jobs has done. It was February 24th, 1955, when Steve Paul Jobs was born in San Francisco, California. Jobs was adopted by his two parents, Clara and Paul Jobs. Even as a child, Jobs has always been interested in technology. As he grew up, he had some troubles in school and eventually dropped out of college. This then allowed him to drop in on creative classes that would later benefit him in life. He then started his career out working in his parents' garage. Very little people had faith in him, but little did we know, he would soon create Apple Incorporations, one of the most profound, innovative companies in the world. Jobs was a man that was not only credited for his innovation and visionary excellence, but also his enlightenment, which brought him to his new partner for life, Steve Wozniak. Jobs and his partner Steve Wozniak set out to create the new Apple computer in 1976. Both Jobs and Wozniak were willing to give up everything they had for their newfound company. The two partners made a new computer that would be user-friendly to everyone around the world and soon be known as Simplicity. Even the oceans tremble in my way. 3 years after the first Apple computer came out, the Apple II was revealed to the public, and soon after, the company gained 700% more sales. The Apple II earned a market value of $1.2 billion. Steve Jobs changed the world with his creativity and way of thinking. He based all of his inventions on what he knew the people would like and want in a heartbeat. In a tug of war between the tide and me.
He encourages people around the world to do their best and never give up.
Steve Jobs' inventions allowed people to expand their own knowledge, providing an infinite amount of information and entertainment at the tip of our fingers. He gives us the ability to express what lies in the depths of our imagination.
If I had never dropped out, I would have never dropped in on that calligraphy class, and personal computers might not have the wonderful typography that they do. Of course, it was impossible to connect the dots looking forward when I was in college. But it was very, very clear looking backwards 10 years later. Again, you can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something, your gut, destiny, life, karma, whatever. Because believing that the dots will connect down the road will give you the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path. And that will make all the difference.
Years have passed, and Steve Jobs has become a huge success, appearing on newspapers and magazines all around the world. Jobs was ranked number 1 on Fortune magazine's list of America's most admired companies out of 500 other companies.
He created a new era of technology that changed the world.
After the success of his recently released computer, the Macintosh, in 1984, Steve Jobs has not only created a new computer company titled Next, but he also launched Pixar Animation Studios, releasing Toy Story, the first animated movie made completely by computers. Steve Jobs was able to essentially reinvent the phone, increase the popularity of tablets, create a virus-free computer operating system, and more. Steve Jobs has also changed the music industry by creating the iPod, as well as iTunes. With iTunes, Steve Jobs has allowed us to buy and store music and entertainment in the easiest way possible. The iPod was the first device that could hold up to 1,000 songs, while iTunes became the second biggest music retailer in the United States in 2008. His innovation was the basis of modern technology.
He was a global sensation.
With all of his success, there came obstacles. Before creating Next Computers and launching Pixar Animation Studios, sales have dropped dramatically for Apple and corporations due to recent recalls and imperfections of products. IBM then beat Apple in sales despite the success of the newly released Macintosh. Apple struggled living up to an IBM PC-dominated world. John Sculley, the president of Apple, thought that Jobs was preventing the company from progressing further, so Jobs was eventually cut from his position at Apple. This then allowed Jobs to start new companies and work on his own. Years later, Apple then bought Next Inc. in 1996 for $429 million. The year after, Jobs was then offered his job back at Apple and earned the position as CEO, soon increasing sales of Apple drastically. In addition to these minor setbacks, Jobs was faced with a rival, Bill Gates, whom he constantly competed with to be the best. But Jobs did the unthinkable. He reinvented Apple many times throughout the years, eventually pulling up ahead of Microsoft. His desire to beat Gates gave him the drive to develop more and more brilliant inventions. Jobs got Apple back on track, allowing the company to create more ingenious inventions that appealed to many consumers. Throughout his career, Steve Jobs has dealt with a great amount of hardships, but he never gave up on his dreams, and that is what inspires people today. Without his inventions, our technology wouldn't have progressed as far as it has. We wouldn't have so much information at our disposal. He is one of the most innovative people of our time, inspiring others to take his work one step further.
And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it, that's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.
He is remembered as the brilliant man that was able to change the world. He showed that anything was possible if you put your mind to it. His creations are still praised today. He left behind Apple, a company that thrives today, releasing new products based on his genius work. He also left behind the flourishing animation studio, Pixar, which is also a major name in the box office, as it works closely with Disney. Thanks to him, we have some of the largest entertainment and technology companies in the world.
We may fall in love.
Steve Jobs has shaped the way everyone sees the world, and if it wasn't for him, there would be no idea of simplicity in technology. He took the stage by storm, leading the technological movement. His groundbreaking work was able to set the sea of advancement in motion. He was able to completely reinvent computers as well as phones, making them more efficient. His persistence and intelligence allowed him to become the father of modern technology. Even after his death, people are still inspired by his work and findings. Steve Jobs has changed the world for the better with its creativity, giving us the gifts of information and expression, all available right at our fingertips.